Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tori Brame and I am happy you're here. If you have watched my other stuff or if this is your first video, welcome. But I just wanted to set up a brief intro about myself in this video specifically because it is about prescription drugs and why I made the choice to take them over all natural supplements. I've been diagnosed with systemic lupus or SLE. The E is lupus nephritis and depression and anxiety, but anxiety I still have and it's fine. I don't want to fix it. I like it. When I was first dealing with my chronic pain and other issues, I tried a lot of all natural things. And my mentality behind deciding to go the all natural route was the side effects. I had such a fear of side effects of medications. And, that is a big thing that holds people back from taking prescription drugs is the side effects. So kind of a story that I had always been told and heard floating around was, you take one thing for blood pressure, but it makes you gain weight. So you have to take another thing to help with the weight gain. And then that makes you depressed. So you have to take a depression medication. So it was kind of the idea of a slippery slope. If you take one medication, you are just going to take all of them. So side note, because I also have ADD, that's fine. I'm not trying to fix that either. I took off my nail polish the other day because it was chipping, and I literally got bored and distracted before I finished. So if you see that, that's what's happening right now. So if you flash, I'm not bleeding. It's just I forgot. So prescription drugs. We're back. So my whole thing with trying to cure myself through I tried everything. Diet, essential oils, supplements, acupuncture, acupressure, chiropractor, teas, herbs, Ayurvedic medicine. What am I forgetting? Homeopathy, magnets, crystals, meditation and mantras, yoga, veganism, raw veganism. Anyway, if it was out there, I tried it. Like I'm pretty convinced. It was about 3 years where I was just trying everything other than prescription drugs. I was like deep into spending a shit ton of money on anything that said that it would help. Any snake oil salesman that came along, I would be like, yes, please take my money. I want to try that. It's definitely going to help me. Now, I'm sure each and every one of those things help thousands, if not millions of people. None of them helped me. So I did get to the point where I had to make a decision. Do I get on prescription drugs or do I keep trying to fight this all naturally? It was a really hard decision for me because I did not want the stigma of prescription drugs. And also I had this idea where they would take years off the end of my life, or almost like by not taking them, I was preserving myself from a sickness later. So it was a really hard decision for me because it's like, well, do I want to suffer through some illness now and then have the entire rest of my life? Or do I want to just, take the medication and get better now and then maybe develop cancer or, some kind of lung disease down the road that could be a side effect of these medications? So that was my reason for not taking them. What I finally had to wrestle with was my quality of life now. We can only have now. We can make plans for later, but now is what we have to work with. And in that moment when I had to decide whether or not to start up different prescriptions, I had to weigh my quality of life now versus the potential of getting sicker later. It was agony for me to stand and sit. There were several times that my ex-husband had to help me off of the toilet after I went in the other room to pee. I would almost always scream as I was sitting down or I was getting up because it was like daggers were in my knees and hips and feet and ankles. Pretty much every joint I had on my body was hurting, and all the inflammation was actually damaging my joints. It was actually taking away from the longevity of my joints. And so that argument of, well, I might get sicker later, or it might make my later life worse if I get on this medication, really wasn't valid, because I was doing more damage not being on the medication than I was being on it. So the first medication I got on was Plaquenil, along with several steroids. That was a hard decision, but after I cut off the steroids for various and sundry reasons, watch my psychosis video if you want. It went good. I was on the Plaquenil, and that was good. I didn't have any side effects. I felt like it was really good. However, after my son was born, I was diagnosed with lupus nephritis. It was stage 3 and stage 5. So that is both scarring and active lesions. So it was, scarred up nasty, which is stage 3, and then progressing, which is stage 5. So basically after stage 5, it's pretty bad. So stage 6 is pretty much dialysis or a kidney transplant. So I was at stage 5 where they were very concerned, and I had to make the choice whether or not to take CellCept. Now, CellCept is an organ rejection medication that can mess with your hormones. It can also tank your fertility. There were just a lot of things that, it was a big decision. It wasn't something that I entered into lightly, but it was a life-saving medication. And I really had to decide, if I don't take this, I might not even live long enough to have a kid. So that is why I chose to get on that one. Benlysta was another one that was pretty risky. It has correlations with cancer. Correlation does not mean causation, but these correlations are pretty consistent. So, I have to wear sunscreen absolutely every day, which honestly helps with wrinkles. So I'm not even complaining. So I had to weigh that too. That one also messes with your immune system and also your bone marrow. So it's a big decision. And so I really did weigh that one. That was probably the hardest one for me to get on, because it was just the consequences were so heavy if it started going downhill. That is the one that made me pain-free. So that is the one that I do not want to get off of no matter what. If I ever do have another kid, I already talked to my doctor, and she said, unless significant evidence comes out that it's going to damage your pregnancy, she's going to keep me on it. So I'm very thankful for that one. Another thing that was really hard for me to decide was getting onto prescription psychiatric medication. I went through a terrible depression after my divorce. I got divorced right before COVID hit. So I was a single mom for the first time. I was, as most divorced moms, broke, paying for my first apartment in like a decade. My kid was having a really hard time. He had just gotten ear surgery with his ear tubes in, and there were a lot of things that we were still trying to figure out. His speech delay was not improving, so I was, fighting like a rabid dog trying to get him services and get him the help that he needed to bring him up to speed. And so there were just a lot of things going on, and I was working for the first time in years and years, and it was just really stressful, and I started experiencing some depression. Well, that depression got steadily worse, and in spring of 2021, I got on prescription medication. Now, that was a huge decision for me, because I am one of those people that works out and meditates and believes in journaling and self-love and all that stuff, and it wasn't working. None of it was working. And I would sleep more, and then I would sleep all day. And there were just a lot of things that were not right. And I actually talked to several people where I was telling them everything that I was doing, and they're like, girl, it's a chemical imbalance. Balance it out, figure it out, and then you can get off of it later. It's totally fine. And so that was a huge encouragement for me, just being what is your quality of life right now? If you are mostly fine, but have this one minor thing, then yeah, don't get on it. Try the oils, try exercising more, get a better friend group. I don't know. I was not finding pleasure in anything. My son was not benefiting from a mother who was fully present. I was terrible in any relationships. Like even my friendships, like I just had no motivation to keep up with them. And so that was something that I just fully stand behind. If you have followed my playlist on depression, you know that I really had to try a lot of different depression medication before I found one that fit. Right now, I am on Bupropion. Nope. That's the generic. What is it? Wellbutrin. I'm on Wellbutrin. Yeah. I'm on 300 milligrams Wellbutrin. And that is amazing. I absolutely love it. It is the perfect fit for me. I am so thankful for it. But again, even trying all the different medications and stuff like that, it's a big decision because, some make you gain weight. Others make your heart beat faster. Others raise your blood pressure. Others lower your blood pressure. Like just a lot of different things, a lot of different factors went into deciding to even get on the medication and then what medication would be best. So all in all, I am so happy that I chose to get on all the prescription medications that I have been on. As far as side effects, I experienced no side effects with any of my medications. That was not always the case. It has taken probably 1 to 6 months with each medication to stop experiencing side effects. But it's like once my body got used to it, I was just good. I was just good to go. So now it's like when I tell people and they're like, oh, but that's a medication and I don't really want to take a pill, for the rest of my life. I get that. And I really encourage you to look at what is your quality of life now, because now is all we have to go on. And if it is not stellar right now, then at least think about it. I'm all about it. If you can get by without prescription medication, great. Don't get on it. Absolutely do not get on it. But if it is going to make your life more livable and even kick it up a notch to great, why not? Why would you not take that one extra step to care for yourself and make your life as good as it can be? So that is my soapbox on prescription medication, and I hope you guys have the best day ever.